Hello, hello, hello. Blessed be, blessed day, my beloveds. How we doing? So there's quite a bit of you out there that are working on clearing karma and ancestral debts and just doing a lot of healing for your lineage. And it's challenging, right? Like it's not easy to one see a wound, let alone to heal a wound that you may not have created, right? Something that you inherited. Um, that always comes to the forefront of my mind because I do a lot of inner work. I've been doing a lot of healing over the years, whether it's things that I picked up my own karmic debt through my own actions and choices in this lifetime, or things that I've seen that have been passed down, right? Like there were certain limitations and judgments and fears that I was holding on to because that was a learned behavior, right? Something I learned from my mother, something that she learned from her mother, right? No judgment there. It was just passed on because if you think that's what it is and you think that it's right, you're just going to keep teaching these lessons, right? So I'm grateful to be at a point in this lifetime where I'm seeing things with a lot more clarity and thus not recreating that trauma and, those distorted perceptions in the lives of my children. I have teenagers, right? 13-year-old girl and a 14-year-old boy. I have teenagers. And healing myself is one thing. Doing the healing and trying to see it in them is another thing, right? I'm working a lot with my daughter now and her perception of herself. And she has a very negative perception of herself. She has a very negative outlook on things in general. And that's inherited from her father, right? Her father is a very negative person. He's always saying, like, bad things always happen. Nothing ever works out for me. And I continuously tell him that's because of the words that you've chosen, right? And so it's different with my daughter because I didn't have a me growing up knowing the power of my words and thoughts and prayers and manifestations, and that thoughts become things. Like I didn't have all this awareness at that time. So I'm trying to pour that into her. But it's not always easy, right? Because she's not always receptive to that because, again, we have these little blocks, these things that need to be healed. So a lot of inner work, and I'm having her do the things, gratitude journals, saying affirmations, doing things, planting the seeds, pouring into her. But I'm healing and clearing a part of her lineage that isn't necessarily mine, right? But she inherited it through her father. So for those of you that do have children and are doing the inner work, like, don't lose hope, don't get frustrated, and know that, like, the work that you're doing isn't just for you, but it's for them, and it's also for their bloodline, right? And maybe you need to call upon the ancestors or the guides of your children or, your spouse or your partner's bloodline in order to help facilitate that healing and facilitate that change in this lifetime so that you guys, again, aren't passing that down to the next generations. I know my daughter is going to be fine. I remember what it was like to be a 13-year-old girl and to hate life and hate myself and hate and hate and hate, and everything was traumatic and awful, and I get it, right? Like, I have a lot of empathy for her because I do get it. But I'm also not having it, right? So there's that. I'm like, yeah, we're going to nip that shit in the bud. We ain't repeating that cycle. But anyway, I love you. God loves you. Angels around you. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.